Welcome you once again to another interesting session. This is the second, and today is going to be more of hands-on. So first, let's quickly go to the part 2, where we'll be dealing with the advanced querying techniques on Perplexity AI. This is very important because most of us like to stay on the surface. Even when we use ordinary Google, people are so lazy, they just want to put anything there and expect the miracle to happen, which is quite okay. I mean, that's where everything is going. But you need to know that there are other things that you need to learn to use in order to be able to dig deeper if you really want to get the best out of these particular platforms. The AI platforms that we have today are great, but those queries, those words that you type in as a chat, they are called prompts. Prompts, you are usually, you have to construct them very well. If they are not well constructed, you can be sure that you will not get the best result. So we're going to be looking at some of these techniques and see how you can use Perplexity AI more effectively. Mastering advanced querying techniques helps in obtaining more accurate, specific, and more useful information. These techniques go beyond basic questioning, just like I've said, and it enables students to refine their searches to produce more targeted results. The very first technique is effective question phrasing. How do you phrase your questions? So when you think of this, you have to be first and foremost, be very, very specific. Be specific. Avoid general queries. Instead of asking broad questions like, what is the impact of technology? Why can't you refine it and ask, what is the impact of artificial intelligence on employee productivity in the finance industry? This is more specific. Well, if you as a student, you are reading, you just want to have a general understanding of the impact of technology, yes, you can stay at that level. But if you're writing your paper and you want something very specific, you are encouraged to be specific in phrasing your question. Again, you also have to use targeted keywords. Targeted keywords. The more specific your keywords are, the better the Perplexity AI will pinpoint to you relevant information. You remember it has to go to the online and look for those resources fairly quickly. So if you are not that specific, it will just bring something general to you. For instance, you want to look for information on impact of AI on employee productivity in fintech companies. This is more effective than just simply asking about AI in general. So use targeted keywords. And from this example, you will see keywords like impact, AI, employee, productivity, fintech, of course, companies. Another example which we will also want you to look at is this: what is economics versus what are the key principles of Keynesian economics? Which of them is more specific? Of course, key principles is more specific than just saying what is economics. So have this at the back of your mind. I want you now to pause this video, write 2 queries on this same topic. Choose a topic of your own choice, any choice. Write 2 queries on that same topic. Write one that is broad and the other one that is specific. Now, compare the quality and relevance of your responses, the AI responses. You will see that the sources consulted will be tailored to what you have asked, whether as broad or specific. Again, make sure you use contextual information. What do you mean by this? Contextualize the type of information you are looking for. Provide background details in your query so as to guide Perplexity AI on what exactly to bring up. For example, instead of you to ask, what are the causes of climate change? You could ask, what are the causes of climate change specific to industrial emissions in developing countries? Which of them is more appropriate? You can see the context there. Specific to industrial emissions in developing countries is specific, but it's also contextual. Another one is multifaceted questions. This also means that you may have at some point incorporate different aspects of the topic within your query so as to get more specific and comprehensive answer. For example, how does climate change impact agricultural productivity and food security in sub-Saharan Africa? This is something that you need to know. If you do not add all those elements, you will not be able to have good answer to your query. I must tell you again, you can pause at any time this video and try them out so that you'll be able to see the effect of what we are saying. Another example is, instead of asking what are the effects of climate change, you can add the context like, what are the effects of climate change on coastal cities in Africa? In order to say it again very well, we're emphasizing the same thing all over again. Be explicit about your needs. You are looking for specific type of information such as statistics, theory, or case studies. Include it in your search query. Don't just gloss it over. If you want statistics, for instance, you can ask, provide statistics on climate change impact on coastal erosion in Lagos, Nigeria. If that is what you need, be very, very specific. Again, you can add specific keywords, search terms that you want to appear in your result. If you are researching for economic impact, you can add filters like economic impact, GDP, employment rates, and so on and so forth. You can also add time filters. If you want Perplexity to help you zero in on particular year, particularly recent data, you might include filters like from 2020 to 2024. I would like you to test some of these things out. Now, I want you to put this into practice. Go online and ask this question. What is the impact of technology on education? Vis-a-vis when you had context and filters. And it will now turn to what is the impact of artificial intelligence on higher education in Nigeria between 2020 and 2024. Perplexity will help you to deliver more relevant, precise information, thereby making your research more efficient. Finally, it's also important when you receive the first or initial response, you can refine your query to focus on specific parts of the topic that need further exploration. For instance, if your initial query is what are the effects of urbanization, you can refine it and say what are the effects of urbanization on public transportation systems in megacities. Perplexity is so lovely. We ask you if you have any follow-up questions. So always ask follow-up questions. Follow-up questions based on the responses that you have in order to dive deeper into subtopics or to clarify ambiguities. You can also do what we call scenario simulation and hypotheticals. You can query Perplexity AI with hypothetical situations to explore potential outcomes or solutions. For instance, you can say, what will happen if a 10% carbon tax were implemented globally or implemented in a particular country? Or you may simulate future predictions. Ask questions that require Perplexity AI to predict trends based on current data. Example, how will AI impact employment in the tech industry by 2030? Check the sources that the Perplexity have used, and you should be able to see clearly what is said. These are some of the practical tasks I want you to also do on your own before you go to the next video. Try and write a broad question and then try and revise it, refine it. I would like you to do keyword experimentations. Test the effect of adding or removing keywords. You can exchange your queries with a colleague and evaluate questioning phrasing. Then you can also do scenario simulation using Perplexity AI. So I want you to go right ahead right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Now. Write a broad question and refine it. Write it down now. Pause this video. Next, I want you to start adding and removing keywords and see the effect on the answer that Perplexity AI has presented to you. Then look for a friend and exchange queries and see what the answers that both of you are getting. Pause the video and then use Perplexity AI to ask for future simulation or future trends on the same topic. So this is the end of this session. I hope that you have